Okay then, Mark Heath back here at Portman Road. Fabio Wardley press conference, take two. We've been here before, of course. It is, once again, a lovely, lovely sunny day. Portman Road looking resplendent in the sun. Jarrell Miller, who just a few weeks ago we covered cussing out Fab and slapping him at a press conference wearing a Norwich shirt. He's injured, so Fab has got a new opponent, Justis Huni, who's here today. We've also seen Eddie Hearn wandering around. So as before, we're going to go and see who we can talk to. Certainly try and speak to Fab, to Justis, to Eddie, to Frank. We've also spoken to Jack and Jordan Williams, two local guys who are going to be on the card on the night. So let's see what we get. Okay, then Mark Heath here at Portman Road with a man who's definitely going to be on the card. Last time we spoke, we weren't entirely sure. Jack Williams, fighting at Portman Road. You're going to be on this card. How's it feel?
Yeah, unbelievable. It's a massive platform to showcase my skills. For obviously, thanks to Fabio and Queensbury to get me on here. But yeah, I'm buzzing. It's only a 4-rounder, but to get on this show like this in my hometown, what a buzz.
And before we get to the fight itself and the night itself, now you're on this card, I feel like we need to get to know you a little bit more. So, how long have you been boxing for? How did you get into boxing? Tell us about your journey.
So I started really young, to be fair. My dad was like a stay-at-home dad, and he used to go to a boxing club just to do it, tick over sort of thing, as my mum worked full time. So me and Jordan is the only two at the time. He used to bring us with us, and we just started from there, and then go on, and we kept going, and we then moved to Ipswich when I was about 10 years old, and there was not much boxing around there at the time, so we went into kickboxing at the time, and I had a few kickboxing fights, went into Europeans, both won gold in Europeans, and we used to get told off for not kicking. We do the odd roundhouse kick and then throw hands again, so we thought, yeah, this is not for us. We went back to boxing, back to our old amateur club in Bury St Edmunds, and the rest is history, and now I'm here.
And the guy you mentioned there is your brother, Jordan, who's in your corner. He's a younger brother. Not many brother teams in the corner either. So how does that dynamic work? Do you always listen to your younger brother?
Oh, yeah, he's the man for me to take me the whole way. His brains and IQ for boxing is crazy. I knew he was going to be a great coach. We compete together, and even in boxing, like him boxing, he's a high-level technical fighter than me in a sense. So I knew he's got the brains for taking me the whole way. And when he said he wants to do full-time coaching, I thought, yeah, he's the right person for me. He knows how I tick. I've got ADHD, so he calms me down. He knows when to go, when to pull me back, when to let me off. So yeah, he's the right man for me. He knows me inside out.
And what's that bond like as brothers? Because you have to really trust your corner, don't you? You have to do exactly what they're saying. So you've clearly got a very tight bond as brothers.
Yeah, we've been through a lot in life, so having him, he's like my best friend, let alone my brother. I was his best man at his wedding. He's going to be my best man next year at my wedding. So yeah, he's more than just a brother. He's my best friend as well. So it can't get any closer than that.
Yeah, and you talk about going through a lot in your life. I saw a bit you did on TV, really good bit actually. When you talk about times when you were homeless growing up. So obviously develops a bond even more between the two of you.
Definitely. We were homeless at age 8. We're living in like a camp. People think camper van. Oh, I love your camper van. It wasn't even a bed. It was just a family car, 8-seater car. Do you know what I mean? That's all it was, and we was living in that, and then into loads of different hostels up and down the country. Obviously, I lost my brother 2 weeks prior, be going homeless, and then obviously moved here after about a year of travelling. We missed our primary school. I missed from year 4 to 6. And then I started high school, so I missed my school at that sort of age. And not long ago, about 5 years ago, my mum passed. So yeah, a lot of these fights were for her.
Tough time. So you definitely be thinking about her and others on the night itself.
Yeah. Every fight was that. A lot of mums you see like, don't hit my baby and all that, but she was right in the crowd and giving it, let's go boys, you know what I mean? So yeah, everything that is for her. That's why I wear black and purple. Purple's her favourite colour. Right. So that's why you always see me in purple.
What was her name?
Sarah.
So Sarah will definitely be here on the night, watching on. On the night itself, what an opportunity for you, Jack. It's on Queensbury, you're going to be live on DAZN, obviously thousands here watching. Is it fair to say you can change your life if you put on like a really kind of highlight reel performance here? Yeah,
hopefully. That's the plan. That's why we've been working hard in the gym. I'm ready to rock and roll now. I'm firing all cylinders, and I wish it was today, because I'm telling you now, I'll be well enough to go in there right now. So yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm going to put a great performance, boxing class. And if the stoppage is there. But I'm not looking for it. I want to showcase my skills this fight.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Jack. Best of luck on the night. Get your tickets. Watch this man on the night, June the 7th. Okay, Mark Heath in here with Jordan Williams, who won't be fighting on the night, but he will be in the corner of Jack Williams, who we've just been speaking to. You're the younger brother, Jordan, but you're in the corner telling Jack what to do. Talk to me about that dynamic and how it's come about.
It's obviously not what people expect, me being the younger brother, but it just works for me and Jack. We've been each other's corners throughout being a boxing. He's done mine, I've done his as an amateur. But obviously, I've took the step back from being actually boxing and gone into full-time coaching.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know Jack better than anyone. So yeah, if there's anyone going to take him in the right direction, I believe it should be me, or at least be part of the team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Jack showcasing his skills here on the 7th, and hopefully, with the opportunity, he becomes onto the big stages from here on in.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity, isn't it, for him? So you obviously started out boxing as well, and Jack's just been telling us you were kickboxing. How come you ended up on the other side of the ropes training? Is that just like what you enjoy more?
To be fair, at one point, me and both Jack were going to sign professional, just after COVID, but things happen in life, and I decided to take a step back, and then the opportunity come about to open up my own gym, so I thought I'd go for it.
Name check it.
Fortitude Boxing here in Ipswich.
Yeah.
Jack helped me start running it, and then obviously we started getting going, and I said to Jack, like, if you're going to do it, let's do it now, because we were talking about doing it individually, but Jack didn't feel quite right with the coach at the time, so he said, let's go for it now. And we've literally, for the last 2 years, just been working on his craft, and I feel like it's starting to show off a little bit now. He's 2-0 with 1 knockout, beating the former Southern Area champion in his second fight, which no one does, especially the risk he took. But I sat down with Jack, and I said, the opportunities don't come around very often, take it with both hands and run with it.
And tell me about Jack as a fighter. From what I've seen and what I've been told, he's got heavy hands at a lower weight, which is not something you see all the time. What else can you tell us about him?
Jack has got very heavy hands. Yeah. But I don't want that to be Jack for all he's known for. Jack is a very good boxer. He's won 2 national titles. Yeah. So really working on all aspects of his game. It's not just all well with being a heavy puncher, but if you don't hit the target, you don't knock no one out. So he's got to be careful on how we set it up and do things like that. So we worked on all of it. If I'm honest, he punches hardest, pound for pound. If you're going pound for pound, the hardest in the gym. Obviously, there's boys that are bigger, that hit harder. But if you're talking about snap and zip, yeah, Jack by far is the biggest punch I've had in the pads. I've had some good pros.
Absolutely. And talk to me about the dynamic, you as a brother in the corner. We see family ties, obviously, in corners quite a lot in boxing. It's mostly father-son. There's not a lot of brothers. The only brothers I can think of, maybe the Smith brothers up in Liverpool. Klitschko's, I know they weren't directly training each other, but tend to be in the corner. So what does that feel like as a brother? Because you're putting your brother in harm's way. So is that difficult to watch sometimes, or you just have full faith in him?
I have full faith in Jack. And like I said, God forbid nothing ever was to go his wrong, but if I can see when he's in the tough times, so I can then get in the way. But yeah, like you wouldn't normally see it. It's not a conventional thing when you have, especially me being the younger brother. Yeah. But like Jack said before, Jack's my little big brother. I believe I just probably matured quicker than him, and he'd say that himself. There's nothing I'd say it to his face. So it's worked that way. But yes, it's not a conventional way of doing it. But like I said, I put him in harm's way, but I would never take him to that place. Obviously, I'd pull him out for whatever reason, but fingers crossed that would never happen.
Yeah. And does he always listen to you? I know I don't. I'm a big brother myself, and I definitely don't always listen to my little sister.
Yeah, he does. When it comes to boxing, for sure. Like at the end of the day, we'll sit there and we'll have little arguments and things like that. But that's part of it. It's the dynamic. But when it comes to his boxing and his training, he's spot on. He understands what I'm trying to do and make him better. So. But outside of boxing, it's always competition. Whether it's badminton or something like that, he thinks he's better with arguments galore. But when it comes to training, he's spot on. Yeah. He's a true professional. And talk to me about the night then. Jack's just been saying that it's all for your mum. It's going to be an emotional night. What kind of performance are you expecting from Jack on what is a massive stage for a very young professional boxer? Yeah, it is a massive stage. And Jack, if I'm honest, the only reason he turned pro was to for mum, if that makes sense. That was his goal, to please her, make her proud, and that was his way of doing that. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jack just showcasing all his skills, whether it's boxing. Not getting a knockout would be lovely, obviously hearing. But I said to him all the time, whenever Jack goes looking for it, it never comes. When he don't go looking for it, it's right there in front of him. So I'm just hoping he just puts on a lovely boxing display, and then the jackpot would be to get the finish done, especially in front of Mr. Frank. And then hopefully we get some sort of deal from that. But that's obviously the best case scenario. Yeah. Well, best of luck. Good talking to you. This man will be in the corner on the night, June 7th. Jordan Williams, Jack Williams, do not miss it. Okay, then Mark Heath here with Justis Huni, the man who's coming to spoil Fabio Wardley's party here at Portman Road on June the 7th. Justis, you just had the press conference, first time sitting on stage with Fabio. What do you make of all of this? So this is the fun part. Just talking crap.
saying what you think's going to happen in the fight. It's all just back and forth, but once we get in the ring, that's where we're going to settle it. So, to me, everything that's set up there just means nothing. But it just goes over through one ear and out the other, because I know once we step in the ring, it's going to be a completely different story.
And what do you make of the venue? This for Fab is like a dream fight. This is his football club. There's going to be thousands of people here on the night, and you're standing here, just over 3 weeks away? How do you think you'll feel on the night?
Yeah, man, I love it. Like, this is what I've always dreamed of since I started boxing. So, it's just a pleasure to be here now and living in the moment that I used to dream of. So, yeah, it's massive. And
talk to me how this fight happened, because it's a bit of a whirlwind. Obviously, Fab was originally going to fight Jarrell Miller. Yep. He pulled out injured, and then you come in as a late replacement. It seemed from the outside looking in as a bit of a whirlwind for you. Is that how it was?
Look, it was, the way I look at it is, it was a massive opportunity that is going to change my life. So, I took it with both hands, and since then it's just been head down and get to work, because we've got a big fight ahead of us in like 4 weeks. So I just said, let's go, let's make this happen.
And it's big for you, obviously, but also big for Australia. Australia have got a lot of great boxers. Never really had a great heavyweight. I think Lucas Brown maybe held a portion of the world heavyweight title. You're on your way to being that, you hope?
Yeah, that's it. I think Lucas Brown has come the closest. So I'm looking to put Australian heavyweight boxing back up there on the map.
And talk to me about Fab as an opponent, because obviously he's been knocking everyone out. You said up there that you think power is probably the only advantage he's got, or may have. I saw some quotes out there saying you think you can just box his ears off. I've watched you fight. You're very, very fast, rapid combinations. You're going to come out there and just outbox him on the night? Yeah,
that's what I plan to do, man. Like, if I'm not there for him to land the big shot, then it's not there for him, He's strong. He's done all the hard work to get himself here, and I've done the same. So it was just meant to be this fight. Number one in WBO, and he's number one in the WBA. So this fight is just meant to happen, and it's massive. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
And Eddie Hearn there, your promoter, just saying he thinks they've made a big mistake by choosing you as a replacement. You'd obviously agree with that.
Well, I don't think they're prepared for what I've got to bring to the table. I feel like it's a massive change for them, preparing for Miller, who's a
totally different fight,
the complete opposite of how I fight. So it's going to be a shock to them, I think, and I'm looking forward to it.
And on the night, thousands of people are going to be in here. You're unfortunately going to be public enemy number one. Everyone's going to be here to hopefully see Fab knock you out. That's what they think will happen. Yeah. So what would you say to those people? What are they going to see on the night?
I'm here to enjoy it, soak it up. I'm just here to embrace it, man. Like, I don't care who anyone goes for in here, who's booing the loudest. I love this, man. I've done it my whole life. Like, I'm not gonna let a crowd of people against me change my destiny and where I want to be in life. So let's go, man. I'm ready to take it on.
And what does training look like for you from here on in? Because obviously you took the fight late on. You live the other side of the world. You've flown over for this press conference. Got here last night. Are you now over here until the fight?
Yeah. We were supposed to fly back after this, but it's just too much flying, man.
Yeah.
Like, and especially being this close to the fight I'm just missing out on days just from travelling. So,
sure.
We're gonna stay here and finish off the rest of the camp here, and just soak it all up and enjoy it. Okay,
and just one final thing then. Prediction on the night. You walk out, you face Fabio Wardley in his dream fight. Are you going to ruin that dream for him?
100%. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm here to deliver upset to Fabio, and it's gonna be a rude awakening, because I know he thinks, this is his home country. He's not gonna let me win this fight. Like, I'm here to change that, man.
Excellent. Well, best of luck, Justis. Do not miss it. Tickets still available. June the 7th. Justis Huni, Fabio Wardley at Portman Road. Okay, then Mark Heath here, back at Portman Road. Take 2, press conference number 2. Fabio, you've just come face to face with your new opponent, Justis Huni. A lot more civil, good-natured the press conference than last time we were here. What did you make of it? First time seeing him in person?
Yeah, look, he's sized him up pretty well. He's same build, same height as me, pretty much what I expected. There's not too much to take from a face-off and this, that and the other. I know a lot of people like to read into it, it's not really my thing. But look, the thing I'm paying attention to is his record, and he's a good competitor, undefeated, well ranked in the governing body across the globe. So yeah, look, it's all coming together to be a great night on the 7th.
But it's a totally different fight, isn't it, from Jarrell Miller? Jarrell Miller was going to come in and be a lot bigger than you in terms of weight, going to probably just bull forward and try and overwhelm you. Whereas Justis, you get the sense from watching him, he's going to try and outbox you. I mean, he's on record as saying he thinks he can box your ears off.
Yeah, look, stylistically, they're two entirely different fighters. But we can have, me and the team are extremely confident. We're able to make a plan for either the likes of Jarrell Miller or a Justis Huni. I believe that my style can beat anyone. As long as I put the right game plan together, stick to it, I'm fit, I'm healthy, turn up on the night, I can always get the job done.
And does it change the way you're training? Obviously, we're just over 3 weeks away from the fight itself. Does it change the sparring and anything like that, the preparation when you're fighting a fighter like Justis instead of Jarrell?
Yeah, the sparring partners are going to be different. You're trying to replicate the type of opponent you would have on the night, so they're not going to be exactly the same. There are going to be different ways we train, different ways we go about things, but ultimately the intensity, nothing drops off at all. We're staying focused.
Nice to have your old mate Eddie Hearn here. Obviously, he took the first steps with you on this journey. He said during that press conference that you've made a massive mistake in terms of accepting this fight, comparing it to AJ and Ruiz. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, he's doing his bit. It's good to have him part of it. He's always good for a good quote. He's always a good mouthpiece for his fighter. He's always got faith in his fighters. So yeah, look, I expect him to have full faith and believe in Justis and almost say what he needs to say to kind of egg him on. But ultimately, the only one who's made a mistake here is them guys is sacrificing their undefeated heavyweight boxer when they haven't got too many heavyweights left in their stable. So yeah, he's fed one to the wolves there.
And Justis has just been saying to us that you may have the advantage in power. He'll concede that, but that's all you've got. You'd obviously disagree with that.
Yeah, it is. That's a running theme. Something I've heard quite a bit. But ultimately, like I said up there, and like I said before, I would advise him to maybe look into things a bit further. Because if you're coming into a fight with me and thinking that all I'm trying to do is wing a big right hand at you, then you clearly haven't paid enough attention.
Do you think people have forgot, Fab? When you turn pro, I mean, now we talk about your power because you're just knocking everyone out. But when you turn pro, I was writing things like moves like a middleweight, really fast hands. People have forgot about your speed and your movement?
Yeah, because as a heavyweight, that's what people want to see, isn't it? They want the knockouts. The moving, the bouncing and all of that is always good. But ultimately, at the end of the day, people want to see the big KOs like in my last fight. They want to see the devastating highlight reel knockouts. So everyone has very much jumped on that. But ultimately, I have still got all the skills in there as well. I've just been able to pull off a lot of fights behind them, power behind them knockouts.
Talk to me about pressure, because this is you're on record as saying this is your dream fight. This is a fight built around Fabio Wardley. The whole event wouldn't be happening without you, and that's great. But also brings with it pressure, because everyone's coming to see you win emphatically. On that night. You don't strike me as someone who feels pressure a lot, but do you feel any extra pressure kind of coming into this one?
No, because this is something I asked for. I asked for this venue, I asked for this occasion, I asked for this fight, or the Jarrell Miller fight. I asked for a big, tough opponent, someone to put a dent in, make a mark on, and announce to the heavyweight division that look, I'm a competitor to take seriously. And yep, the Miller one fell through, so we move on to the next best thing, and that is Justis Huni. Good, undefeated fighter. He's got a lot of ability, a lot of skill about him. So we move on to that, and he's my next victim to make a statement with.
And when you have made that statement, Frank told me last time we were here that you win this fight, you fight for a world title. Which direction do you think you'll be going in? Will you be going after Pulev, the WA regular? Obviously, we've got this huge fight between Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk in July. Which direction would you like to take in terms of fighting for a world title?
Yeah, I think that's still a bit of a question mark. As we've seen even in this occasion with boxing, you're never 100% sure what's going to happen, what's going to go on. 1 minute it's Miller, the next it's not. Now it's Justis Huni, and however, so that happens throughout boxing as well, not just to me, not just this occasion, but all across the board. So we'll get this fight out of the way first. and then me, Frank, the team, will sit down, we'll assess, we'll have a look at things, and we'll see what's the best plan of action.
Nice to have Dill on the card. Someone who's also been instrumental in your journey. I remember talking to you when you first signed with him. He's going to now be on your undercard.
Yeah, fantastic. Funny how life comes full circle like that. But I think it's a testament to how much faith and how much credit he put into me early on in my career to believe I could even get to stages like this, to events and occasions like this, and then for him to be on my undercard and sharing this moment with me, I couldn't think of anything better.
Obviously, it's going to be a special night. There've been already some rumours around special walkouts and Ed Sheeran's name been thrown around, all that kind of stuff. You were at the Ben Eubank. The walkouts were incredible. Have you got something special up your sleeve for Portman Road?
Yeah,
Sam Morsey coming out with you, something like
that? Yeah, look, we're having me and the team are having a think. We're sitting down. We've got a few ideas floating around. I'm always one. I want things to be nice and authentic and real. I don't want to be too forced and fake. So, if we in the team come up with something good that we think will hit really well, then yeah, that's what we'll run with. But yeah, we're floating around a few different ideas. But either way, it's going to be a spectacle.
I think Ed's in France, isn't he? Looking at his concert schedule. I'm not sure. Can he fly over? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe either a quick pit stop here and then fly straight back over. Who knows what he can pull off? But yeah, I wouldn't hold my hat on Ed being.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and that's what Ed can pull off. What can you pull off on the night? Clearly, when I asked you a prediction, you're going to say you're going to win. I'd expect that. What is a perfect night, though, Fabio Wardley? Do you walk out here and knock Justis out in the first round? Do you get a few rounds? How's the perfect night for you?
Yeah, look, for me personally, to get anything over and done in the first round was always perfect. But one thing again about this, I want it to be an occasion. I want it to be an event that's remembered. Yeah. So I want the fans to turn up and see a bit of a fight and see a bit of back and forth. And look, I don't mind. It's plastered around everywhere, but I don't mind a bit of adversity as well. I'm going through a little something and coming out on the other side of it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to our styles clashing, coming together on the night. But again, ultimately, however it's going to end, it will end with my hand being raised.
Is he going to go the distance?
No, they don't. It's very few and far between any have made it to that final bell, and I don't see in this stage, this opponent, this occasion, this moment, there's no way that's happening.
There you go, heard it here then. June 7th, Fabio Wardley, Justis Huni. Make sure you get your tickets, still a few left. Do not miss it. Okay then, press conference number 2 here, done at Portman Road, and it's fair to say it was not quite as eventful as the first one. They were very civil, light-hearted, joking back and forth. Eddie Hearn telling Frank Warren that he's made a huge mistake by taking this fight, comparing it to Andy Ruiz when he famously upset Anthony Joshua at late notice when Joshua was meant to fight Jarrell Miller. Just had a really nice chat with Fab. He's looking good, looking excellent actually in that lovely pink kit that Town have got. Justis Huni though, very confident young man. Only just arrived last night, a bit jet lagged, but speaking very confidently about his chances in this fight. He's now going to stay in England and train, get ready, and he says he's looking forward to putting on a show in front of a hostile crowd on the night. We've also had a nice chat with Jack Williams, who's a young Ipswich fighter who's going to be on the card on the night as well, trained by his younger brother Jordan Williams, who you've also probably just heard from. That's a really nice story as well in terms of emotion, and it all adds up to, as I said before, a really, really special, great event for all of us here in Suffolk and Ipswich to get behind. This has never happened before. There's a good chance it never happens again, and you can say you were here when Fabio Wardley potentially takes another step to being world heavyweight champion, which is incredible. That story in itself is amazing. So make sure you got your tickets. There's still a few available. Saturday, June the 7th. Do not miss it.